Today I'm going to tell you some things about the Great Fire of London. This building in London is over 300 years old. It survived the Great Fire of London in 1666, when other buildings close to it did not. This is a model of how London's streets looked at that time. Can you imagine how quickly a fire would spread? This book tells you how the Great Fire started all those years ago. The smell of smoke. Thomas Fariner was a baker who lived in Pudding Lane in London. Early in the morning on 2nd September 1666, he and his family were woken by one of their workers. The worker could smell smoke. A fire had started. The fire soon spread and the flames became so fierce that it was impossible to escape down the stairs. Making their escape, throwing open an upstairs window, the family climbed onto their roof. The flames were getting stronger and they had to escape. Bravely, they jumped onto the roof of a neighbor's house. Their maid was too frightened to climb onto the roof. The smoke was getting thicker. Sadly, she died in the burning house. Very sad. Too late. It had been a very hot summer that year. The wooden buildings were so dry and they were so close together that it was easy for the fire to spread. The flames soon leapt from house to house. A few hours later, the fire was out of control. The Lord Mayor was in charge of fighting fires in London, but by the time he arrived, it was too late. Panic. Buildings crashed down. Thick black smoke hung over the city. Frightened people tried to escape. Some headed for the boats on the River Thames. Others fled by horse and cart. Some people did not have the money to pay for a boat or cart. They sheltered in the cool, dark stone buildings which would not catch fire. The force of the fire. People tried to put the flames out using squirts and buckets of water. They also pulled down buildings with fire hooks to try to stop the fire from spreading. It was no good. The fire was too powerful. The king decided that it was best to blow up the buildings closest to the flames to stop the fire from spreading even further. The city in ruins. After 4 days, the flames started to die down. The city was in ruins. People's homes and businesses had been burned to the ground. Homeless people had to shelter under tents or in huts. Collections were made throughout the country to raise money for them. The city is rebuilt. London had to be rebuilt. The king talked to architects. They said that buildings should only be built with brick or stone and that the streets had to be wider. Gradually, over many years, London's ruins were replaced with new stone buildings on wider streets and with open squares. How do we know? Some writers who lived at that time kept diaries that tell us what happened. John Evelyn kept a diary, and so did Samuel Pepys. Here are some of the words from Samuel Pepys' diary. I'm going to show the images of the diary, okay? I'm not going to read it to you. This receipt tells us that the people of Cowfold in Sussex sent money to help the people in London who had lost their homes. Engravings and paintings. This picture shows what the fire engines at that time looked like. They were very different to the fire engines. This picture was painted years after the fire. It shows people escaping by boat with their belongings. New buildings for the city. This drawing is by Sir Christopher Wren. It shows his new design for St. Paul's Cathedral, which was destroyed in the fire. 87 other churches and 13,000 houses were also ruined. Here is St. Paul's Cathedral today. Does it look like Wren's drawing? Objects and monuments. Leather bucket, squirt. In 1666, there was not a fire service as there is now. People use leather buckets to throw water at the fire. They also use squirts to fire water at the flames. They are very small compared to today's huge fire hoses. This monument was built close to where the fire started. It was designed by Sir Christopher Wren. Timeline. 1 a.m. 2nd September 1666. The Great Fire starts in the bakery in Pudding Lane, London. 4th September. St. Paul's catches fire. 6th September. The King visits the people living in tents and huts. 10th September. Sir Christopher Wren starts work on his design for a new city. May 1667. House building begins. 1672. House buildings is completed. 1675. Work on St. Paul's Cathedral begins. 1677. The monument is completed. By 1685, Wren has built 52 of the churches destroyed by the fire. 1710. St. Paul's is completed. 1723. Sir Christopher Wren dies. Oh dear. Biography. Samuel Pepys was born on 23rd February 1633 in London. He was the fifth child of 11 and his father was a tailor. He studied at Cambridge University. He started to write his famous diary at the age of 27, but he had to stop writing it when he was 36 because he feared he was going blind. Pepys died on 26th May 1730 at the age of 70. Sir Christopher Wren. Sir Christopher Wren was born on 20th October 1632 in East Kinoley, Wiltshire. He went to Oxford University where he became a professor of astronomy. His greatest opportunity came when he was asked to redesign the city of London after the Great Fire. He died when he was 91 years old on 25th February 1723. Glossary. Architect, a person who designs buildings. Astronomy, the study of the stars and planets. Monument, a building or statue built to celebrate or to remember someone or something. Professor, one of the top teachers at a university or college. Receipt, a piece of paper that shows what someone has bought or given money for. Squirt, an earlier piece of equipment used to fight fire. Tailor, a person who makes or mends clothes. And that's the end of our video. Bye bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe, like and share and subscribe.